Whatever career you choose must have the following characteristics. Number one, you must believe that it was what God created you to do. That's the first characteristics of your career. You had a sensing. You believe that it was what God created you to do. In other words, your career must be what you understand as your path of destiny. Number two, another characteristic of your career line is that you must get pride out of saying that is what you do. You are happy to tell anybody, this is what I am. When you are uncomfortable about saying that you do what you do, usually it is not where you're going to excel. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Number three, whatever you choose as a career must help you to develop and use your personality. In other words, most times you will not need to change who you are to fit your career line. I'm sure that people like Jedi will tell you how they may not even have understood whilst when they were growing up, everything they said, everybody started laughing. You almost would find it irritating at one point. Why are you laughing? And one of the things, have you ever noticed, one of the things that comedians say off stage the most is, I'm serious. I'm serious. Why? Because nobody takes them seriously. You understand what I'm saying? I'm serious. People will be laughing. He's saying, I'm serious. Then another person who is a serious-minded person wants to now go and crack jokes. Then the guy has to tell you that was a joke. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. The guy, do you understand? You don't have to change your personality to fit your career line. Go and check it. If you have a personality that does not like to wear shoes, only tennis, canvas, yeah, let me help you understand it. The day you will find your career line, you will discover that that's what they wear there. If you don't like to wear ties, what you really, I'm telling you, you don't have to change who you are to usually excel in your career line. Next, your career line also will require your passion. It's one of those things that when you are doing it, you love doing it so much you don't even know when time flies. People have to remind you, or you need systems to remind you that time has gone. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. When you see true bankers at work, 9 o'clock, somebody has to call them to say, it's 9 p.m. already. The guy says, oh my God, my wife is going to kill me. Then he's running home. Don't you understand? Another person who works in a bank is 3:30. We are almost closing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When you are in the place of your career, time disappears. And not only for you, but mostly for the people around you. Because there's something around you that just creates that magic that makes everybody so captivated that they don't even know that time has gone. Listen to me. You cannot really say you're a speaker if you don't talk too much. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. I used to tell my wife that she had a speaking gift. But she was always, she tried to run away from it for a long time. But soon after she started to go out and speak to people and talk to people about entrepreneurship and blah, 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 Then she really started to enjoy it. And my wife is really good as a speaker. Does anybody think so? But when the day that I heard that normally when she started, my wife will go somewhere. 20 minutes she's out. I can't. Do you guys remember that in Speaker's Corner? She came in 25 minutes. She was gone. No problem. Not too long ago, she went to speak in Festa. By this time, the thing has entered her body. You know what I mean? 1 hour, my wife was still jabbing. 1.5 hours, my wife was still rapping. 2 hours, they had to come and start passing her. She said, yeah, this is what happens to my husband. So when she came back and told me what I said, now you are a speaker. Which is not to say that you should take other people's time unduly. But I'm saying that when you are in your place, time should fly. So you need prompters to tell you, listen, manage your time. Manage your time. But listen, there's a gentleman by the name of Tosin Jemide. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of him. Cakes by Tosin. This guy makes the most amazing cakes that you can see. He did a wedding cake once that was a chandelier. And most people did not know that it was a wedding cake until it was time to lower it down. It had light bulbs in it. Then when it was time to lower it down, how he did it that the cake did not melt, I cannot tell you. He did another cake once for a wedding that had a water fountain running down. And the cake was not wet. He made a cake once for a fashion designer, Odion. I don't know how many of you have heard of her. It was a singer machine, complete with, you know that one that has, you know it? With the thread, everything, and even the thread was icing. Everything. Some of you say, Kai, this man, are you where? You see, you can take a man away from the bush, but you cannot take the bush from the man. You understand what I'm saying? But it is no strange thing that Tosin therefore can charge 2.5 million naira for a wedding cake, whereas some people can try and sell their wedding cakes and say they are bakers for 35,000 naira and nobody will buy it. But this is the interesting thing. Tosin's wife was saying to us one day how if you leave Tosin with cakes, the guy will probably die of exhaustion because he will not sleep a wink for as long as he's working on a cake. She said Tosin needs to be compelled to sleep. And initially, what she found out was that she would give him some time, maybe sometime till about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. He's still working on one cake. Then she goes to call him and says, Tosin, come, you have to come to bed. Then, once he gets into bed, and she thinks to herself, I have gotten him. Oh yeah, she sleeps off. If she wakes up 10 minutes later, he's gone. So he just comes into bed, waits until she sleeps, and then he goes back and continues his work. So she said what she used to do was that she had decided that, okay, let me sleep well for the time that I've decided to give him. So that when I come and tell him to sleep, I will wake up and I'll be watching him. Every time he opens his eyes, so close your eyes. Like a baby. Like a baby. They have to beg him to sleep. If your career does not do that to you yet, forget it. You are not yet. You are not there yet. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. Your career must use your passion. Must use your passion. Next, your career must affect many people's lives. I found out that, listen, it's not what you do that matters in life, it's the impact of what you do. Two people were asked the same question at a seminar that I went to. I asked them the same question. I said, what do you do? One of them said to me, I'm a pharmacist. I said, what do you do? He says, I sell drugs. The other one said, I'm a pharmacist. I save people's lives. Sick people, I give them the thing that helps them get well. The ones that are not sick, I give them the thing that helps them stay healthy. Which of those two do you think will have a greater pride in his work? Simple. In other words, when you are going to stay in your career line, you have to think that what you are doing affects many people's lives. It's important. Next, your career line must constantly push you to higher dimensions of performance. One of the reasons why people quit at the top is because many times they cannot see where else to go. One of the questions I ask mostly in banking sector, I say, at the height of your career, what staff level do you hope to attain? Okay? Are you with me? At the height of your career, what staff level do you hope to attain? Some people will say, oh, I want to be a senior banking officer. Others will say, I want to be an assistant manager. Some people will say, I want to be a senior manager. Somebody will say, I want to be an assistant general manager. Some will say, I want to be an executive director. That is the one I don't usually understand. Why would you want to be an executive director and not an MD? But they say, no. I just want to be an executive director, then I want to go and become the MD of my own company. Interesting. And most times I ask them, if you were to be known as number one in the world, or you were to start your own company and your company was to be the leading company in its own market, what market will your company lead in? Does anybody know the answer to that question? Let me ask it again. If you were to start up your own company and your company was to be number one in its market, what market would your company lead in? What's that market? If you were to be known as number one in the world, so that the minute that one thing is called, your name is called after it. Just like if I say to you golf, what name comes to you? If I say to you Formula 1 racing, what name comes to you? Schumacher. If I say to you free kicks, what name comes to you? David Beckham. No problem. If I were to mention something, your name will naturally come up in Japan. Do you know why I said Japan? Do you know why? Because you have not. Has David Beckham ever been here? Has Tiger Woods been here? Has Michael Schumacher, has he been here? So think about it this way. These guys have not been to Nigeria, but you know them. You have also not met them. Not so? Yet you know them. So listen to me. If you in Nigeria that has not met someone in Europe can know their name simply by the thing that they do, it tells me that somebody in Japan can know you by what you do. I said something that was, as far as I'm concerned, very, very fundamental a few days ago. I said your fame does not require a visa. Your fame does not require a visa. You can be in Nigeria and be a global player. Bill Gates has his products in places he has never stepped into. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can have an impact on countries, nations, and you've never been there before. So stop thinking that until you go somewhere to speak, that's when they will know you. How many people have heard of Les Brown? How many people have heard of Zig Ziglar? Have they been here before? The last thing that I want to say is that your career should be rewarding. Your career should be rewarding. In other words, you must find a way in which your career will pay you. And to do this, let me quickly add that don't confuse your customers with your consumers. Don't confuse your customers with your consumers. There are many times that in your career line, they may be different. The people who consume your solutions may not be the people who pay for it. Your customers are the people who take the decision to buy. In other words, the people who actually pay for it. And your consumers are the people who use up what you do. So let me give you an example. For instance, a pediatric surgeon. If you were a pediatric surgeon, who will your customer be? Hold on. Is it the child that is sick and needs your skill, or the mother of that child? Do you understand the difference now? The child is a consumer, but the mother is the customer. The mother decides which doctor they should use. The child does not decide that. Now, this is the interesting thing. One of the things I have found out is that for most of us that have passion for youth, you might soon find out that the youth are your consumers. And if you try to make money from them, you will either cry many tears, or ultimately you will quit. It is extremely challenging to run a seminar for youth and charge 10,000 naira today and see any one of them come near that area. I didn't say they will come to the place. They won't even come near. So what is the challenge that stands before you to be able to make? In most cases, there are a lot of people who run away from their career lines because they can't see the gold. The gold in their career line. The day you find gold is the day you find the customer who can pay for what your consumers will use. So I wrote a book called 17 Laws of Academic Excellence. Do you think I'll try and sell it to children? Of course not. I'm selling it to corporate organizations who will put their logo, their titles, their products, their everything into the book, that we can give it free to the children. The children are the consumers, but the corporate organizations are the customers. I have once said, I don't know whether you have heard me say this before, that I am pretty much like a modern day Robin Hood. I serve the rich and I give to the poor. The things I charge so well for them, so that I can be available to do the things that I don't want to charge for. You cannot give what you don't have. If your career line does not profit you, it will be difficult for you to make an impact. So you must find profit in your career. It's not enough for you to know how to speak. You must know how to speak somewhere in a way that they will pay you what you would like to earn, so that you can go and speak in other places that they cannot pay you for free. There is a place within your career line that serves as an income flow. There is another area in your career line that serves as an impact flow. Speaker's Corner is an impact flow. When I go into the banking sector, that's an income flow. Does it mean I don't make impact there? Of course I will. If not, the income will stop. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Find an income flow so that your impact can constantly flow. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Have you gotten something this morning? Today is career day. Somebody say hallelujah. None of you will leave this place without finding your career today. Listen, anybody can speak as long as you have a message. We will need speakers in medicine. We will need speakers in sports. You will need motivational speakers in every sphere of life. Everyone. So being a motivational speaker is like knowing how to use a computer. That you know how to use a computer does not mean that you can make money from it. You must know what to do with the computer. Do you understand? This thing is called mouth top. There is laptop, desktop, and mouth top. You understand what I'm saying? You must learn how to use your mouth top to create wealth. Don't just say I'm a motivational speaker. What are you speaking? Who are you motivating? What is your message? That you are a motivational speaker does not mean you cannot be a doctor. It doesn't mean you cannot be a makeup artist. My wife today has become a great motivational speaker. Her speaking engagements in every month today are closing in on my own. And I'm glad for it. Because I told her for many years, you know that you have a message for this. She says, leave me. No, let me just focus on this, my makeup. That's what God sent me. I said, I'm telling you, God sent you also to this one. Then she found it in her own time. But guess what? If she had not excelled in makeup, will she have any message? You cannot give what you don't have. What do you have? You want to teach people about academic excellence. You have never scored an A, a B, or a C before. And you want to teach academic excellence? Then you say, Professor, something said. This one said. That one said. Everybody said. What are you saying? What are you saying? Don't be a tape recorder. Be a speaker. A tape recorder plays what everybody else is saying. Yeah? If you put the CD in, R. Kelly will say something. If you take that one out, put another CD in, is Bobby Brown. If you take that one out, you put another one, it is C.C. Winers. That a tape recorder only plays what others say. Doesn't say anything in its own. Do you understand? Tell somebody, don't be a tape recorder. Don't be a CD player. Don't be a gramophone. Don't even be a radio. Say something. But more than anything else, let your life say something. People don't believe what you say, but they believe what you do. Let your life say something. Excel in an area so that you can have something to say. Now please listen to me. I didn't say get to the top yet. I just said excel. So at every level that you are, you have the opportunity to excel at that level. Are you a student? Be the best student. Are you a youth corper? Be the best youth corper. Are you a receptionist in the office? Be the best receptionist that anybody has seen, so that you can have something to say. Do you understand what I'm saying? At your level, there is a best. Write it down. At my current level, there is a best. I must become it. I must become it. And as my level changes, I become the best again. Then my level changes. Then I become the best again. At your level today, where you are right now, there is a best possible. Be it. Does anybody understand it? The next level for Speaker's Corner is that by the special grace of God, we are going to develop the academic aspect of speaking. So that by the special grace of God, within the next 1 month, we will try to see how our website will come up. And then we'll be having topics on the website so that you will know what we are going to be dealing with in December from today. And we will start to get speakers in the line of topics to come in and speak to you. So that from this second year over the next 12 months, we want to begin to award certificates. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So for those that have come for a particular number, if you haven't made, say for instance, 70 or 80%, we will work it out. If you haven't made 70 or 80%, you cannot get a particular kind of certificate. The more you come, the more the things that you are certified to have gone through. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. And then we're going to be able to do what you call certificate of participation. So that online we will send you your certificate. Right? You will get it online and then you can go and print it. Okay? But it will be done, printed, signed and all of that. Alright? Is anybody excited about that? Okay? So that you should be able to have something to show that you have been coming here. Anybody would like that? I wanted to read something to you before I just invite Mrs. Adeni Itaiwo. I sent a similar message to a few people. And this is not really to say in any way that everybody has not done so. It's just because I think I was almost running literally in my mind. I said, God, this text message itself was 6 text messages long. So I sent a text message, I think, to about 3 people. I think it was. And I just want them to come up so that we can give them a standing ovation. But there are many more people that deserve this. So I'm going to try and find out how to recognize every single person over the next 1 year. But for today, I sent a message to Oladile Olunike, to Harry Steve, and to Carol. Would you like to hear what the message said? Each one of them had a different aspect to their message, but the broad message was the same, right? I think Carol's was the last one that I sent, so let me read Carol's one to you. Carol, could you please come up? Did you get the message?
I did.
Okay. Well, I just said to Carol, I said, Olu Carol. I call everybody Olu something. Okay? So, and no matter what your name is, even if your name is Ade something, my own is Olu. I cannot put Ade behind it. But. So I said, Olu Carol. It seemed like the proverbial yesterday that we got together to start Speaker's Corner. But that yesterday was August 2005. And I said, by his faithfulness and most special grace, Baba has kept this baby in our abasing and abounding hands to be alive and well to be 2 years. I said, Baba is worthy of all praise. Yet, I must also add that many times I had given up on this baby. A few times, I had not even physically been there to nurture it. I have been like a busy absentee father. But you, Carol, Harris, please come up. But I said, but you, Harris, or most importantly, I said, but you, Bishop, I said, you were always there for Speaker's Corner. To Carol, I had added, you always did this more than just a business transaction. It was never just a business transaction. There were months that we did not have a kobo to run Speaker's Corner. But you will never know because all of Carol's equipment will still be here. There was one particular month, 3 weeks after we had run Speaker's Corner, we still couldn't give him his money. And he was already preparing his equipment to bring it for the next week. He didn't say until you pay me last one before I can bring it this time. I don't know whether you understand. But as God will have it, not only did we give him the last monsoon, but I believe we now give you that monsoon in advance. Some people may not realize is that Speaker's Corner has been paying pretty much the same amount as we had started paying 2 years ago. And even that was a discount. What we were paying 2 years ago is what we are paying today. And 2 years ago, he gave it to us at a discount. Do you understand what I'm saying? So his sacrifice has continued to increase. But he himself just kept us at the level. So it was just a seed. I said, to God be all the glory. But today we will not only be celebrating Speaker's Corner. I intend to celebrate you and your team. God bless you and keep you as we move to the next level. Now the first text, when I drafted this text, I drafted it to you. Then I realized that it was an apt text for Harris. Because in all this time, I don't know how many times you've been here and you did not see that man diligently seated by his computer there. Has anybody ever seen it? I don't know how many times we've ever had Speaker's Corner that Caro did not almost personally come here to supervise. He would have other jobs, but he will come here to set up. Even if he cannot stay, then he will go. And then he will be coming back. Coming back. But is there anybody here who can remember, perhaps I think except once, that Bishop was not here to receive you in the morning? Is there anybody here that can remember that there was a time that he was not there to close the meeting? Can anybody remember a time when this man was not there to teach you in the mornings? I honor you all, gentlemen. God bless you. But I said something. I said your steadfastness, your commitment, and your dependability has become a lesson to my life. And I want to say thank you, sir. I could never, ever have done this without you. 2 years ago, I was crying on my birthday. I was weeping in my room. I told God, I said, I have too many visions that have not seen the light. And God said to me, do you know what the problem is? I said, no, you tell me, what is the problem? He said, you are trying to do the things I told you to do. I thought that was some kind of thing. I couldn't understand it. How can it be a problem that I am trying to do what you told me to do? And he said, no, my son. You are not to do the things that I told you to do. You are to get the people that will do the things that I have told you to do. And he said, there are certain people whose fulfillment I have tied to the actualization of your assignment. I said, so what do I do now? He said to me, ask of me and I will give you the nations as an inheritance. So on that day, 12th of May 2005, I started to pray, God, give me my people. The people that you have sent to the assignment, not just to me. I said, if you send them to me, if I hurt them, they will go away. But if you send them to the assignment, as long as that assignment is in existence, they can't go anywhere. In other words, these are not people who I will feel that it is me that owns them. No, we are co-partners on the assignment. It was not 2 weeks later, in this very place, that you and I met. I believe on the 6th of June or something like that.
5th of June.
I knew you would know their name. I prayed that prayer on the 12th of May, on the 5th of June, Sunday. We met here in the evening. And he said, listen, I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. And then God asked me to do something that I had never done before in my entire life. I had not yet met this man 10 minutes. And he came outside and he sowed a seed into my life. And God said to me, breathe into him. Someone I have never met. How would I do it? But he was ready. He knew in advance what was going to happen. So I said, sir, I'm going to have to do something. I've never done it before. But I want you to cup your hand. So he cupped his hand over his mouth. And I took my hand over him. It wasn't my breath. Don't forget, I have no breath of my own. From that moment, it was something else. We had a meeting in my house. And we had both knew, because he had started a mentoring session before that he felt at one point in time had to be stopped. And then he felt like now was the time for us to start this thing together. So we said, okay, great, let's do it. But I said there's going to be a test. We have one test. To know whether truly God called us together. You go and choose any day that you think we need to start. And let me go and choose a day that you think we need to start. I said, then let's meet 2 days later or 3 days later. And let's see what it is that God has said. Of all the days in the year, we are talking about, listen to this, we are talking about sometime around the 15th or 16th of maybe of June. Of all the days in the year that were possible, we never agreed on any one day. We probably knew it would be a Saturday, but we never agreed on which one. Of all the days in the year, Oladile Onurike and I wrote down on different pieces of paper the same day. And that, I believe, was August
19, 2005.
And since then, this man has been steadfast. Left to me alone, I don't know whether you guys will be here today. Because there were times when I felt the burden was almost going to kill me. And it's because of their steadfastness that you are rising today on your feet. So I want you to do me one extra favor. I want you to stretch your hands towards this man. He said, that which I have given you, commit into the hands of faithful men. If you know how to pray, pray for them. If you know how to bless them, bless them. Whatever you know how to do well, do it for these guys. I want your prayer to produce something, a distinctive thing in their lives over the next 1 month. I want your prayers to cause a testimony in their lives in the next 1 month. But please note that your prayers are a seed. If you pray for them, you will harvest that seed also. So pray something that you are desperate for. In the mighty name of Jesus. I know that you have clapped and applauded them. But with all that you know now, I want you, don't do it for yourself. I didn't prostrate for this gentleman because I was trying to create a show. It was what I felt like heaven wanted me to do. I've done it twice in my life. And I want you to appreciate these people on behalf of God, on behalf of Fela Durotoye, and on behalf of the person standing next to you who has enjoyed their steadfast.